The 90s were a golden era for gaming, delivering some of the most memorable titles that still hold a special place in our hearts today. Whether it was the evolution of 2D platformers, the rise of 3D graphics, or the beginning of immersive storytelling, the 90s set the stage for the future of gaming. In this list, we're diving into the top 10 games from that iconic decade that continue to bring joy, nostalgia, and excitement even decades later. Get ready to revisit the classics that shaped our childhood and continue to stand the test of time. So, the 10th 90s game on our list is Age of Empires 2: The Age of Kings. Released on September 27, 1999, Age of Empires 2: The Age of Kings quickly became a landmark in the RTS genre. Building on its predecessor, it refined mechanics and set a new standard for strategy games. Its lasting impact led to a definitive edition over 20 years later. Players can dive into complex stats or simply enjoy the strategic flow, with resource management and town building at its core. The game's accessibility makes it great for beginners, yet deep enough for RTS veterans. Its influence can be seen in modern strategy titles like Mount & Blade and Total War. And the 9th 90s game is Star Wars Jedi Knight: Dark Forces 2. Star Wars Jedi Knight: Dark Forces 2 arrived just 2 years after its predecessor, in an era when sequels didn't take a decade to make. Set a year after Return of the Jedi, it follows mercenary Kyle Katarn as he's drawn into a dangerous conflict. While the original Dark Forces was great, the sequel improved on nearly every aspect, introducing a branching narrative where players could choose the light or dark side. It also expanded Star Wars lore and featured an impressive multiplayer mode for up to 8 players, an ambitious feat for online gaming in the 90s. And on number 8, we have Monkey Island 2: LeChuck's Revenge. Point-and-click games may be rare today, but in the late 80s and early 90s, they were a dominant genre. Among them, the Monkey Island series set the gold standard. Monkey Island 2: LeChuck's Revenge continued the misadventures of Guybrush Threepwood, a wannabe pirate known for his mix of self-deprecating and absurd humor. The game introduced new characters, like the bold Captain Kate Capsize, and expanded its world with multiple islands to explore. Unlike many adventure games of its time, Monkey Island 2 was more open-ended, allowing players to tackle challenges in different ways. With added difficulty options, it became more accessible while retaining its signature humor, making it a classic that still holds up today. And on number 7, we have Duke Nukem 3D. Oh, how the mighty have fallen! Duke Nukem 3D was a standout FPS, embodying the over-the-top cheesy action of an 80s movie. Duke's cocky attitude and constant one-liners set him apart from the usual silent protagonists, making sound an essential part of the experience. The game perfectly captured the loud, brash, and slightly inappropriate spirit of the 90s. Sadly, its long-awaited sequel, Duke Nukem Forever, spent years in development hell only to arrive as a major disappointment. While the franchise has faded, Duke Nukem 3D remains a fun, nostalgic ride for gamers. And the 6th game is Fallout. Before Bethesda transformed Fallout into a first- and third-person action RPG, the series began as a turn-based, tabletop-inspired game. Originally titled Fallout: A Post-Nuclear Role-Playing Game, it featured a trimetric perspective, top-down with a slight angle. What set it apart was its blend of a post-apocalyptic future with 1950s Americana, creating a world rich in dark humor and unique style. The original Fallout laid the foundation for one of gaming's most beloved franchises, introducing super mutants, the Brotherhood of Steel, and deep player-driven storytelling. While the series has evolved, the first game remains a must-play for fans wanting to explore its origins. And the 5th game is StarCraft. Set in the 25th century's Kuprulu sector, StarCraft follows 3 warring species: the Zerg, an insectoid race obsessed with genetic perfection. The Protoss, a highly advanced psionic civilization fighting to preserve their heritage. And the Terrans, exiled humans known for their resilience. Released in 1998, StarCraft became one of the best-selling PC games ever, with over 11 million copies sold. It revolutionized the RTS genre with distinct factions, deep storytelling, and strategic gameplay. Though Blizzard has since sidelined the franchise, StarCraft remains a landmark title, inspiring sequels, expansions, and a vast extended universe. And on number 4, we have Thief, the Dark Project. Thief, the Dark Project helped shape the stealth genre, influencing games like Assassin's Creed. While not the first stealth game, it was groundbreaking in its use of light and shadow for evasion, now a staple of the genre. It also featured interactive environments where movement noise varied by surface type, adding to the immersion. Beyond its mechanics, Thief introduced Garrett, a cynical, self-serving anti-hero with a sharp wit and a mysterious past, an uncommon character for its time. Combined with surprisingly intelligent enemy AI, the game made sneaking through the shadows a thrilling challenge. And the third 90s game on our list is Half-Life. Before Half-Life launched in 1998, most first-person shooters featured disconnected levels with little narrative depth. Half-Life changed that by seamlessly weaving its story into the gameplay. Players step into the role of physicist Gordon Freeman, whose experiment at the Black Mesa research facility goes horribly wrong, triggering a resonance cascade that unleashes destructive chaos and alien invaders. From its gripping story to its memorable enemies, like headcrabs and the Combine, Half-Life became a landmark title. Its advanced AI made combat feel dynamic, with enemies using ambushes and flanking tactics setting a new standard for the genre. And the second game on our list is Diablo. Diablo didn't invent action RPGs or hack-and-slash games, but its massive success inspired countless imitators. Lead programmer David Brevik envisioned a blend of roguelikes and Dungeons & Dragons, creating a game that was more accessible than other RPGs of its era. This approach helped Diablo sell over 2.5 million copies. Beyond its addictive gameplay, the game delivered a gripping dark fantasy story, as players set out to defeat Diablo, the Lord of Terror. Since its 1998 release, Diablo has spawned multiple sequels, and its dungeon-crawling formula continues to influence the genre. And the last 90s game on our list is Doom. Often called the godfather of first-person shooters, the original Doom wasn't the first FPS, but it was the game that brought the genre into the mainstream. Its massive success led to FPS games being dubbed Doom clones for years. By the late 90s, it had sold over 3.5 million copies, thanks to its fast-paced combat, diverse weapons, and engaging gameplay. Doom paved the way for classics like Half-Life and Halo, while its cooperative and deathmatch modes helped shape multiplayer gaming. Its impact is so enduring that fans have found ways to run it on everything from calculators to microwaves, cementing its place as one of the greatest games of all time. So, what's your favorite 90s game that you still enjoy today? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.